Nick, if you can't hear over the constant talk about their driving stories, you might have to move because they're clearly not capable of not discussing these things. So I apologize in advance.
Your TV still.
They've got stuff to talk about, like with Hemis and stuff like that.
800 targets getting here this morning.
Great. Who did you decide to eliminate? Okay, so you must have, and you can stop me when you and I veer off course. I assume you multiplied both of these equations by 5. Okay, so then this one stays the same.
Yes, it's.
No. And then we get -5 of those, 25 of those, -5 of those, and 135 of those. And then on the bottom, we get -30, -15, 5, and -75. Are we still on the same page? So at this point, I would do row 1 plus row 3. And then I would also do row 2 plus row 3. We still on the same page? You have to look at these signs that I just circled. Those are the key. You need a minus to go with a plus. So that's why I had to do 1 and 3 and 2 and 3. I did this problem with someone in 5th hour yesterday, and she had multiplied the middle row by -5, which is odd, but she had decided that she prefers her signs to have 2 pluses and 1 minus, whereas I don't really care as long as I have 2 of one and 1 of the other. So that's why I just left the negatives alone and just left the plus alone because I was fine with that. You good?
Yeah.
Shall we press on?
Yeah.
Okay. So row 1 plus row 3 is going to be -25x's. And then -16 y's. The z's are going to cancel. And then we're going to get -96. And then row 2 plus row 3 is going to be -35 x's plus 10 y's. The z's are going to cancel, and that's going to equal 60.
Yeah.
You still good?
So what is it?
So you have some options at this point. Option 1, if you felt like it, a lot people usually don't do this, but you could take the bottom equation and divide it all by 5 if you just wanted to make the numbers smaller. Just FYI, but if you don't, I mean, like, we're probably all going to use calculators anyways, so it doesn't really matter. If this were a no calculators allowed quiz, then that would be a solid play, because then you could shrink the numbers down and make it a little easier on yourself. Having said that, though, let's just go normal stuff. Which variable would you like to eliminate? Do you know what 10 and 16 can both turn into? Say again. No. You're missing the point. Not what they can know. I'm not asking for a greatest common factor. I'm asking what could I turn them both up into? It's called the least common multiple is what I want.
You could do 160.
Yeah, and honestly, the best answer would be 80, but I got to be honest, like, most people aren't going to spot that 5 times 16 is 80. And so I'm going to do what you said, because I want to teach you in the way that you would think about it on the test. And I've got no issues with that. So our numbers are going to be a little bit bigger than if we had selected 80. But again, we have calculators, so we're fine. What we have to be wary of here is the signs. And we're fine because there's already 1 minus and 1 plus. Had that 10 at the bottom been a minus or the 16 been a plus, then we'd have to change one of the signs. You know that? But we don't have to worry about that. We just have to make them 160. So I'm going to multiply the top equation by 10. And then I'm going to multiply the bottom equation by 16. And so we're going to get slightly large numbers here, and that's okay. Getting big numbers doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It means you've made some sus choices along the way by like not dividing or not picking the smallest common multiple, stuff like that. But it doesn't mean you're wrong. It's just a little bit annoying. So when I take this top equation, please stop. So when I multiply the top equation by 10, I get negative 250 x's. I get minus 160 y's equals negative 960. And that's just not using a calculator. I'd probably want to use a calculator starting now, just because 16 times 35 is kind of rough. It's going to be 350 plus 210. So I think it's 560, but that would be a good time to check your math teacher's math. So I'm going to put negative 560, but I'm assuming you have a calculator there. You should check that calculation, 16 times 35. You're not checking it, are you? Did you check 16 times 35? You should. The noise all around here is making it hard for my brain to work. It's okay. Okay. And then we're going to multiply across. The other ones are going to be easy because they end in zeros. So 16 times 10 is 160. We knew that one. And then at the back end, 16 and 60 make 960. Is all this feeling like something you know?
Yeah.
So what's going to happen now is we're going to do what we came here to do, and that is we're going to add these two purple equations over here together because we set it up so that there would be an elimination. That was our goal. So when you add your X column right here, you get negative 810 X's. Your Y's, of course, cancel, and you're left with equals 0. And as you know, when you divide both sides of this by anything, you're going to get X equals 0. It's the only possible solution to that equation. So we now know that 1/3 of our answer is done. We know the answer is 0, comma, blank, comma, blank. And so who do we have to find next? Yeah, you have to. Like we could not find Z right now because we don't have enough information. So we have to go to one of the 2x2 equations. I don't know which one you like better. I don't want to speak for you, but you would certainly choose one of the two in the green box. There would be no reason to choose one of those that I just crossed out. That would be weird. So which one do you like better?
Negative 35 x 10.
Okay, so that's going to be negative 35x is negative 35 actually now times 0, which is just going to go away. So you're really just left with 10y equals 60. And then when you divide by 10, you get your second piece of the puzzle, 6. And then at this point now, you're going to take those numbers, the 0 and the 6, and you're going to put them back up into, I presume, one of those original equations. And again, it's a judgment. I know which one I'd pick, but I'm not you. So of the three, which do you like better? Yes, kind of smaller numbers, maybe. I don't know. So let's take row 2. So it's gonna say 96. So we're gonna take the second row, and where it says negative X, we're gonna do negative 0, which is just gone, 0. And then where it says 5y, I'm gonna put 30, because that's 5 times 6. And then I'm gonna put minus z equals 27. And people that solve these equations usually come in 3 categories. 1, people that just don't know how to do it. 2, people that would do it by the book, subtract 30 and then divide by -1. Or group 3, like myself, I would move the z and the 27. I would effectively have them change places to make the z become positive, and then the 27 gets subtracted to make 3. Are you with me?
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What?
So we have a third equation where we already have a missing x. So that means that we want to make another equation that's missing its x, right? So what I need to do is think to myself, how can I use these two equations and make the x disappear, right?
Multiply the top.
That's the one we're gonna-
That's exactly what I was going to do, is multiply the top one by -2. So if I multiply this equation by -2, then it becomes -2x minus 6y plus 4z equals 6. And then this equation I just copy over like this. You with me?
Yes.
So now I'm going to do my row 1 plus my row 2. And that's going to become x's cancel, -9y plus 10z equals -12. You okay with that? Have we encountered the part yet where we're not the same, you and I? Because it sounds like you've already done this.
I think doesn't we add a?
So are we in the same place? I just want to know that.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So then I'm going to copy this equation over, the one that was already given to me, missing its x. Like this. And now I'm going to solve this 2x2 system. Which variable would you like to eliminate?
We could do we make the first one.
Sure. Except we have to make one of them a negative. So let's multiply one of them by a negative. Which one would you like?
We could do -5 on the bottom.
That's fine. And then we'll do +2 on the top. So we have -18y plus 20z equals -24. And then we have -25y minus 20z equals +110. And now we're ready to do what we came to do. When we add them together, the z's are going to cancel. And we're going to be left with -43y equals 76. Excuse me, 86.
And that goes in twice.
I should have done this a while ago. Could one of you shut the door? Oh, so once we get to here, we now know that y equals -2.
And then we can plug it back into one of the previous equations.
Right. Like I would imagine that you'd probably choose this one. I'm just guessing. So it would become 5 times -2 plus 4z equals -22. Still good? So then you're going to get 4z equals -12, and then you're going to get z equals -3. So we now possess two pieces of the puzzle. We have z and y. So I'm going to just clean up my workspace, leaving only these. So we now know that the answer is blank, -2, -3. And then how are we going to find that third one?
I'll plug it back into the top equation.
I would, yeah. So that top one's going to say x plus 3y, so -6, because it's -2, minus 2z, so +6, which that's kind of cool. So those numbers that I just wrote are the result of putting y and z in their homes in the top equation, right?
Yeah.
And then the -6 and the +6 just cancel, and you're actually just left with x equals -3.
I think I got confused. I'm definitely gonna put this problem in. There was another one, right? Where we were missing the variables.
There were two of them that were missing a variable. Yes.
Probably add